welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we're about to have our online and newspaper review. But before that, here's a quick shout out to, this is saying, special greetings to Banti B, watching us live from UK. This is to Banti B from one of his very, very good friends. So yes, joining me here as usual, as you know, we have Mr. Clement Yabankwe and Miss Miriam Abna Adidi. Hello.
Hello, Yara.
Yes, I know I just saw you from the motivational quote segment, but our viewers didn't. So how are we doing?
I'm so amazing, by the grace of God.
Well, I would say this far by grace, and I'm very privileged to be counted among the living this morning.
Okay.
Because let me just go straight into my trending story. Something happened over the weekend that made me question my existence, you know, on earth. That made me question, like, I don't even know. I went mute. I went silent after seeing that, you know, tragic incident that happened. I'm just talking about the trending East Legon accidents, which happened over the weekend, where a young boy, you know, crashed into a car that was parked. It wasn't even parked. It was following its lane.
Yes.
Yeah, a car crashed into the other, and then at the instant, 2 people died. And then the car also caught fire, and then it was a very terrible incident that a lot of people have been talking about. And then this has, you know, brought out a lot of controversies on social media, spanning lack of parental guidance, reckless driving on the road, the security, you know, service not doing their job, you know, people taking the rules or the laws into their hands to do all that, and even pedestrians and riders, motorists not being able to use fire extinguishers. Like, these are some of the comments that a lot of people have brought up because of what happened over the weekend, and I just felt like we need to also talk about it because this is very serious.
Yeah. And I hear the one driving was about 16 years old. And I mean, according to our rules, you are not to drive till you're about 18, right?
Yeah.
So that also sparked a lot of conversation around that. Is it because the parents are sort of renowned in the country, so they tend to...
So sources claim that they were celebrating his elderly brother's birthday, and so he was asked to go and pick something to the house, and that was when he took his mother's Jaguar. There's a car, and then he drove, and then...
But, so if he's driving at that speed, then how will he drive in an emergency?
I don't even know. And, you know, videos started coming up.
Yeah.
People say this is not the first time he's over speeding. That's how he drives. There was a video of his friend, you know, taking a video of him driving, and even the friend was saying, this guy could kill me, or this guy could kill me. Or, like...
And, I mean, he's a minor, so not a lot of... punitive measures could be taken towards him. He may just be put into some sort of juvenile unit for a while.
And that is what a lot of people do not also agree to, because they say he knew what he was doing.
Yes, but he is a minor, so...
But is he, Yaira, I think, let me just say this. There was a police report out on there. It said police investigate fatal East Legon accident. And it reads, the Ghana Police Service has commenced investigation into an accident that occurred on Saturday, 12 October 2024 at East Legon in Accra, leading to the death of 2 persons. Preliminary police investigation indicates that suspect driver identified as Salifu Amwakun rammed his vehicle into another vehicle on Zeni Ashi Street at East Legon. Both vehicles caught fire and burnt beyond recognition. The suspect driver and other surviving victims are currently receiving medical attention. Meanwhile, one of the surviving victims has since been treated and discharged, while the bodies of the deceased victims have been deposited at the morgue for preservation and autopsy.
So
I hope
the Salifu Amwakun, is it the pastor that was identified, or it is his son?
So we are yet to see. You see, the police report is kind of quite... it's not really pinpointed. So we are yet to see moving forward, the kind of reports, whether it's the son or the father who was driving. Yes.
And if it is the father, it surely is not the father, is it? Because there are videos and things.
But per police reports, they said Salifo Malcolm. We are yet to know whether it's the father or the son.
Well, someone will be wondering what the law says about, reckless driving and what can be done to whoever gets involved in that. I did my research, and then according to the Constitution, Section 1C of the Road Traffic Act, so 2004, Act 683, as amended by the Road Traffic Amendments Act 2008, says that a person who drives a motor vehicle dangerously on a road commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction, where death occurs, to imprisonment for a term of not less than 3 years. And Section 2 also says, or gives meaning of what a dangerous driving is. And it says, the way that a person drives falls below what is expected of a competent and a careful driver. And so from what we saw, I wish the video could have been displayed. What we saw, it was a community, right? East Legon is a community where people are supposed to drive at a certain speed. But that speed, even highway, you can't drive. You can't drive on highway with that kind of speed.
When I also watched the video, and I'm wondering if somebody is in labor or somebody is dying, then what speed would you use? Because if this is just an errand, you are running and you are using this kind of speed and you've killed people. But then also, I think since he's a minor, you know what?
I think we need to, I would say, to leave it now, to follow up with the subsequent reports from the police and the various agencies, so we take it from there. Because if not for that, we might end up drawing a conclusion which might not be.
But somebody, the families of the deceased would also want some form of justice.
Yes, sure.
And there are also conversations on the fact that from the family the culprit is coming from may be able to influence this issue, and then the families of the deceased may not receive what the justice
I don't even want to mention names, but a lot of people were mentioning some known figures in the country who have also gotten themselves in this kind of situation, and they are walking around free because nothing has been done. And still on the issue of accidents, yesterday, or I think 2 days ago, a VIP bus also got involved in an accident on the Kumasi road. And I think about 13 people died. And this is like the fourth VIP bus we are hearing of such news in, let's say, less than a month or two.
So could it be a maintenance problem?
I was having a discussion with someone, and then the person was asserting that we are in an election year, and so every election year these
people
things
must die.
And the person even said we have one bus remaining to get involved in that. That was what the person said.
Yes, exactly. So I think basically when you dig into the cause of the accident, it was as a result that passengers were having disagreement in the car. So they tried involving the driver. So the driver turned back to respond to them. So by the time the driver realized he was close to a pit and he had nothing to do, and they just entered straight into a pit. That place, there was water. So that's what they just entered straight forward. And one amazing thing, after following this accident, was there were crates of eggs in the car. And the eggs didn't get cracked. But human beings
died.
They died. And people are wondering, what kind of egg at all be this? I was following the story on one of the media houses yesterday in an interview from a live report from the players. Like, it's so amazing that we have about a number of eggs in the car. None of the eggs got cracked, but human beings lost their life through the accident, and we are yet to see the rest of the story unfolding.
Well, it depends on the impact of the angles. I mean, there could be a lot of science and mathematics, physics,
and
involved.
Who even owns the egg? Because that reminds me
was the question. That was the question.
A group of people decided to embark on a journey, and then they were going alongside with crates of eggs, and so they entered the car, and then one of them asked, "Where do we put the eggs?" And the other person said, "Oh, put them in the boot." And they said, "Oh, okay, but looking at the speed, once it gets, cracked or something," and the person said, the Holy Spirit to go and stay there.
Holy Spirit, yeah.
Eventually, they got involved in an accident and then they all died. But the eggs
were...
So the Holy Spirit...
That's what I'm saying.
No
who owns the egg?
So you see, this one is a signal to passengers. Sometimes some passengers, we engage in dialogues in the car, which is very baseless, baseless. And you involve the drivers in it. And to an extent that you'll be shouting on top of the driver, what do you want the driver to do? So just imagine, the driver tried to respond back, and thus you all lost your life.
But then also, when you go to driving school, DVLA, traffic safety, road safety, you are not supposed to keep your eye off the road. You can, I mean, I could be speaking to both of you and still looking in the camera, but I'm communicating with you. So the driver did not need, this is not to victim blame, please.
Yes, that's very true.
The driver should not have turned, because I remember when my mom was learning to drive, those handbooks, there are rules. So what are you trying to say that you are driving?
And that
you need
will also
to
lead us into anger issues.
Exactly.
Or temperaments. People have anger issues. They can't handle it.
Yes.
And so the only means they can, retaliate is to just turn back and give it to you.
Respond.
Then if that is the case, park the car and
it's on the highway.
But Era, there is another sad issue that happened that was yesterday. And it's supposed to... that's Kaswa Bujumbura Road.
Yeah.
Those who use that road were test when they're going to Cape Coast. The contractor, I must say, there is, should I say, a manhole. A manhole dark in between the road. Oh. It's very deep pit.
I think it's because of the construction.
Because of the construction. And yesterday, I think the course of the day, I don't know whether it was a planned thing or it's unaware thing, and there was this blasting that took place. Okay. And a number of people lost their life and a lot of people got injured. So the whole issue, the community or the people around are saying that why didn't you inform us that this is what you are going to do?
So
because
that they could evacuate.
Yes, they said previously before they do that, they inform them. So they move from their houses to a park. They will all assemble there. After the incidents, they will all come back to their room. But yesterday it was not like that. It took them unaware, and then people lost their life, and it was so pathetic.
Shops and things.
Yes. They were rushed to the hospital, and you see how people really want to know whether their relative it's involved in such incidents. So there are a number of people at the hospital because they want to see whether their relative is part or not. Because of that, we had a whole number of police presence there, almost 200 police people at the hospital trying to protect the place, not getting citizens to access the hospital. But I must say, the contractor needs to, as soon as urgent, do something about it because it's so bad.
So I heard the contractor has been at the site for just 2 times since they started the construction. He's been there for just 2 times. And then he asked his workers to do what they did. And I think maybe if he was there or if he was frequent there, he would have been able to advise the people on what to do instead of just sitting somewhere and just giving the order. Because, I mean, look at the lives we've lost.
And then it brings back the need for intermittent training. You may have the expertise, but sometimes a refresher course, because these people probably know how to use these explosives and things, and they also have learned how to do a controlled, explosion, right? But if they don't have that refresher course anymore, they may forget about that and think, oh, let's do it.
Nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen. And then something has happened. Because these things are able to be controlled and kept in a more...
This is even the first time I'm hearing, this killing people.
Yes, it's bad. But Era, I have one trending before this talks, or is in relation to the Parliament House. You see, Parliament, they are supposed to begin the final session of the 4th or the 8th Parliament. That's today. So this is their final session. After today, the 8th Parliament, or after this very period, the 8th Parliament ends. That's because you are moving straight into election. And the Speaker of Parliament has mentioned quite a number of achievements that the 8th Parliament has made in the history of Ghana. And I must say they have done well, because looking at what they have done. But there is going to be another alarming issues in Parliament starting from today, if we should follow, because the former minority leader of parliament, that is Honorable Haruna Idrisu, made a statement that they are going to invoke Article 97 of the 1992 Constitution, which gives them the right for an MP to vacate, or it talks about how an MP can resign from his seat or vacate from his seat. So he used an instance that since 4 members of parliament from the New Patriotic Party have decided to go independent, meaning that they have vacated their seat as member of parliament for the NPP. So they are going to invoke that article, making the minority in parliament become the majority, and the majority in parliament becoming the minority. Yesterday, this very issue triggered a lot on the media. A lot of people were talking about it, but we hope to see how it will really go. But when you read something small about the Article 97 of the 1992 Constitution, I will just paraphrase because we are not lawyers to interpret. It says that it gives certain conditions where a member of parliament must vacate their seat. 1, if the MP is convicted of a crime and sentenced to imprisonment for more than 12 months. 2, if the MP becomes physically or mentally incapacitated. 3, if the MP resigns from their position. 4, if the MP is absent from parliamentary sessions without permission for more than a certain number of days. So I believe he's going to use the aspect of if the MP resigns from their position. But we hope to see the angle he'll pick it from, to see how the lawyers will interpret the law to Ghanaians.
Interesting days ahead.
Yes, interesting days ahead. And we're also going to witness the revocation of the LI 2462, yes, as said by the parliament president.
Well, we hope to hear more about that soon. So let's go quickly into your digitalized graphic news.
So today I have with me the daily graphic, today's daily graphic. And on the front page, we have Ghana ready to host Best Ever African Oil Week Conference in 2025. That's on page 26. We also have PIAC holds workshop on solutions to crude oil production dips. And then our major story, managing public sector wage bill. Wages must match productivity. Finally, someone has said this. So the public sector wage bill must be reformed to match productivity to performance of workers, the Chief Executive Officer of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Benjamin Arthur, has advocated. Such a move, he said, would ensure that workers were adequately rewarded based on their productivity, which would be a form of motivation while helping the country to efficiently manage the public sector wage bill. Mr. Arthur was speaking in an exclusive interview with Daily Graphic, while stating that the single-spine salary structure had helped to manage discrepancies and disparities in public sector wages. He said it was time for the country to focus more on the output of workers instead of just the input. So that is just a portion of the story. He's advocating that, you know, productivity should match, wages should match productivity. You should be paid as how you work, like the effort you put in your work. That is how you're supposed to be paid. And I totally agree with him.
Oh, yes, I totally agree. I totally agree.
Well, it could spark a lot of controversy too, because let's be honest, there are certain people that are basically redundant in some institutions, but they are there probably based on 1 or 2 reasons best known to them. So if, you know, salaries or wages are supposed to match their input, they may not be given any input worth the amount they are probably receiving now. And if now it is changed that, okay, this is how much you bring to this institution, so this is what you are taking, problem will come.
I don't agree with you, because why do you think people are doing kululu, people are doing protocol, people are doing connection man and all those things? It's because the work they do not receive the wages that, you know, are supposed to be allocated to such efforts they put in their works. And so they have to look at, you know, other means of making other income to add to their wages. So if you've been employed and then you are not working for reasons best known to you, and you are there comfortably, expecting that at the end of the month you'll be paid, I don't think you are being fair to the one that is working 24/7.
And then also, you know how certain, let's even use these one-man businesses. They create new positions for their kin, their nepo babies that we usually call them. They create these new positions. They are just there. It's just a title. They're not doing any work. And now wages must meet the output or input.
Okay.
Something like this. What does that mean for the nepotism baby that has been put there?
Hey, don't worry. Whoever placed you there will sort you out.
Yes.
We can't use government taxes, government, money to be paying people who are not contributing, to our finances, our resources. And
okay, let's calm down.
I have to be passionate about this.
Yeah, so
salaries you are receiving.
not going. I think what they are calling for is it's a right call because productivity needs to match with your wages.
Yeah.
From the point you are talking about, this one will put everybody on your toes to work. Because if you know you don't contribute anything to the output, if you don't have any contribution to output, you are not supposed to be paid.
Exactly.
And that should be the basis. Because you can't be paid for what you've not worked for.
Exactly.
So yes. So since you can't be paid for what you've not worked for, I think if I contribute 1% to productivity, I'm supposed to receive 1% of that same productivity. And this one will make productivity even increase.
Yes.
Our economy is going to boost up. Revenue is going to be generated
to work.
And
motivated.
Seriously, it's going to build the economy that we want.
Well, I think also I would have to be the devil's advocate to say this. This should also go to our leaders. Yes, the amounts of money they are getting for the positions they are in, and we are not necessarily seeing
what they are doing.
Yes. So I think it should go there first.
But Yara, some are really working. Some are really working.
So the ones working will get what they deserve, and then the ones who are not working will also get what they deserve, right? It shouldn't only be the layman. It should be everybody. Nobody's above the law. At least that's what is said theoretically.
It's true.
Yes. What do you also have for us?
So, Yara, we are still in the internet world. Yeah. So, on the front page of Graphic Business, we have 3 stories. It says Access Bank supports 20,000 business with loans. We have the other one that talks about 5G services go live. That's November 1. So Ghanaians should expect 5G services from 1st November. We also have government to create manufacturers out of importers. So let me just tackle on the 5G service go live, because that is one thing that the youth and everybody is expecting, because the internet connectivity now is some way. So reading, it said exciting times await business as Ghana's 5th generation, that's 5G technology, is ready to go live on November 1. The wireless technology will offer users a higher internet speed, higher upload and download speed, with more consistent connections and improved capacity. The 5G network will run on the same radio frequencies as the existing ones, that's 3G, 4G, and 4G LTE network, which formerly served most cell phones worldwide. And the main reason why they're introducing the 5G is, he says that the aim is to deliver affordable and high-speed mobile broadband services to users nationwide. And they also said that 5G service is expected to benefit Ghanaians in several ways, such as faster data speed, lower latency, and increased connectivity. So that is all about the 5G services.
So do our telecommunications networks that have been disappointing us every day know this?
Oh, yes, yes.
And
some are really, really working.
Are they also going to give us this 5G? Is it going to be camouflage 5G? It is 5G, but it is
even normal 4G. We are not seeing.
But you see, there's no edge, because amazingly the NCA is saying that in terms of licenses, they said the government issued the 5G service licenses to Next Generation Infraco, that is a new shared infrastructure company which is co-promoted by the government and 7 other industries. That is the Access Digital, KNet, Nokia, Tech Mahindra, AT Ghana, and Telecel Ghana. But people were asking, what about MTN and stuff? They said that, however, industry giant MTN Ghana is not parts of the consortium, raising doubt about how successful the launch will be in the absence of the major players.
Well, in as much as this is, some sort of good news for all of us, I also feel it is not going to serve a particular portion of the population we have in the country, especially the youth, who actively use these internet data we are talking about. And so the 5G that is coming, yes, it is coming to help internet connectivity move faster and other things. But what about making them affordable, data prices affordable? Because if we are not able to purchase, data, I don't think we'll be able to even access the 5G they are introducing. So I think majority of the youth are calling on the minister to advocate for a reduction in the prices of these data bundles instead of introducing 5G.
And then with the incidence of 5G, then it even increases in the price, because maybe maintenance and all kinds of new reasons why they should increase.
When I started using iPhone fresh, my 1 CD data, I cannot use 1 CD data on iPhone, right? No. Unless, because it uses 4G, so I have to increase. I have to buy like 3 CDs or 5 CDs. Now you're buying 3 CDs.
Yes, but is it
that
what
was then? I mean, God has been good. Now we don't use 3 CDs.
So maybe the whole thing is, they said they will make it affordable. So we just hope to see what's going to happen. But I understand the point, because the current one that we have, they've now keep on adding more to the cost, adding more to, now when you subscribe to, let's say 3 CDs, those days MTN, when you subscribe to 3 CDs, you get about 451 megabytes, but now it has been reduced drastically. So I think I understand the point you're coming from.
They could also argue that the kind of technology we had even 10 years ago versus now, I mean, I think the scientists could use about 1 megabyte to, I used to see some post or story about using a small number of megabytes to be able to put somebody on the moon. Now we are using up to 1 terabyte or even more than that. So that would also play a role, because the phones that were using the Edge were able to, those times our memory cards, how many megabytes? And you could have so many songs on it. But now those megabytes are something really small. You need about 2 to 3 or 4 gig. And even now, 4 gig is very small for our computers, for our phones, and those. So those are things that we should also think
technology
about.
Is failing us. Is rather failing us, because why would we have an advancement in technology and then expenses keep growing?
So that's how the world is created to be. So technology is not failing at all.
It's the nature. It's supposed to make life easier for us.
Yes, it's making life easy. Now you can make call to anybody outside the country. It's life is so easy. So I think
so you can continue your arguments backstage. For now, the online news, the first story here says, Election 2024, the Electoral Commission to re-exhibit voters register online from October 15 to 19. So the story here is saying the Electoral Commission has revealed that the re-exhibition of the Provisional Voters Register will take place from Tuesday, October 15 to Saturday, October 19, 2024. The public may remember that during the Special Inter-Party Advisory Committee meeting on October 1, the Commission assured attendees that the updated PVR would be available online, allowing registered voters to verify their information and report any errors for correction. So from Tuesday, 15th October, which is today, voters can check their details via the short code *711 *51 hash. And I take that again, *711 *51 hash. Free of charge, and the Commission said in a statement on Monday, October 14. Now, they said voters can also check their details from their website, which is the ec.gov.gh. So https://ec.gov.gh. Voters should click on the pop-up link at the bottom right corner of the screen and enter the 10-digit voter ID number to receive their voter registration details, the EC said. So, yeah, in the spirit of transparency and accountability, at least the register has been, the Provisional Voters Register is going to be displayed. We have about how many months? We are in October, so
Yes.
2 more
2
months. It's even less. It's less than
Yes,
because we only
yes.
have the whole of November
Yes,
and the first
7th
few
of-
days of December. So to be able to see and verify your information now is a very good thing. It's key so that you know you don't have to go and face any problems when you are at the ballot box. So that's good, and we are glad the EC is also being autonomous in taking such decisions.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the Electoral Commission on this side, I would say they have done very well. They have listened to the good people of Ghana because a lot of people raise a lot of agitation that there should be re-exhibition of the voters register so that the trust for the EC will be there. That kind of integrity the EC always call for will be there. And that is the right step the EC has taken. And I must say they have done a good thing. And the good people of Ghana should take advantage of this very exercise to check. Myself, I'll do that right after here. So let's do that so that on the very day, we don't want any chaotic day on the day of election, not at all. So I would just say one thing. The EC also said that the public should note that any discrepancies identified must be reported to the district office of the commission where they are registered voters for correction. So if you check and there is any issue with your details, kindly report to the district office. And we all must take note that once the re-exhibition exercise ends on Saturday, that is 19th October, voters will still be able to check their details online, but cannot request for correction of their details. So we should take note of that.
It's good they put it that way because some people would try to take advantage and then towards the D-Day, then they come and make changes as a, you know how these election things, there are so many ways to try and rig, and it's good that they are keeping the correction time. So please follow the time frame and do the needful as quickly as possible.
Yes, but okay.
I also want to urge political parties to, advise their members or their fandoms to go and then do the
necessary checks.
Because we don't want any issue with the Electoral Commission to pop up again. We beg them. They know themselves.
And in that same vein, they shouldn't also incite their party faithfuls to go and do anything to try to
also temper with the sites.
Okay, so on the same matter of election, I will say that today at Alisa Hotel, 11 a.m., there's going to be IPAC meeting with the Electoral Commission. And it's all because of the re-exhibition exercise. They want to involve all the stakeholders because they told them earlier this month. So they are going to tell them that they've started. So they should equally involve their followers so that the integrity of the EC would be there. And notwithstanding, yesterday too, EC also made the public aware that they've released the provisional, that's the balloting statistics, the balloting statistics. It's now out. And the balloting statistics says that currently there's going to be printing of the ballot papers for the presidential and the parliamentary elections. And in terms of printing, they are going to make a provision that is 2% increment in the total provisional voters register. So assuming if the provisional voters register is 20,000, they are going to print extra 2% of 20,000, add up to the parliamentary and the presidential ballot, so that they will not have issues with we are short of ballots on the D-Day and this kind of issue. And I must say it's a good step the EC has taken.
People should also open their eyes when they are going to vote. We don't want any mistake.
Yeah. Well, the next story here is, of course, about Galamsey. So 9 Galamseyers arrested over Changfans destroyed in Anti-Galamsey raid. The government's Anti-Galamsey Task Force Operation HALT has apprehended 9 suspected illegal miners and destroyed 23 Changfans along the Ankobra River in Prestia, Nakaba. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Located in the western region, these arrests were part of a broader operation that saw over 100 soldiers deployed last week as part of the government's intensified efforts to tackle illegal mining, spurred by growing demands from professional organizations and civil societies. Now, illegal mining, known as Galamsey, has caused significant environmental damage, especially along rivers in Ghana. So, do you know what Changfans is?
Yeah.
It takes my mind back to history in SHS when we were learning ancient Egypt, Shaduf. It was that balance scale they used to fetch water.
Okay.
And now we have Changfans. And it's actually a sort of a piece of technology that these Chinese brought into the country to be able to aid in mining from the rivers.
Yeah.
Apparently, under the river belt or the land in there, under there's a lot of gold there. So
Yes.
rather than swimming and drowning in things, they brought this piece of technology. And I think some years back, was it 20? Was it? I don't remember the year, but probably around 2012 or earlier, they were arrested. The Chinese, they were arrested and deported, and then since they left their equipment there, the people that had learned how to use it continued using it, and I think they were even able to import more, even if, for lack of a better word, even maybe make their own makeshift Changfans as well. So we have 9 people that have been arrested, but we still have a long way to go.
Oh, yes.
There are so many people that we need to arrest. And then I saw a video, on this story trending, and you could see our own people, kneeling down, and then
The Chinese are sitting down. But they're also culprits.
You see, that is where it all starts. So the mentality, that is where it all starts. Why should our people be kneeling and then the Chinese will be sitting? Why? Are they so special?
It is Ghanaian hospitality. I mean, that's what Ghana is known for.
Yeah, the same people who exchange us
hospitable
for just a meal.
So let me stick to the illegal miners and Changfans issue. So, Era, it's I would say it's a good thing the Operation Hot's people are doing, because I must say this issue of Galamsey is really causing more harm than good, in as much as people are saying that it's contribute to number percentage, almost 60% to our economic growth. That's in the aspect of small-scale mining and stuff. I would say that the current benefits we are having from this small-scale mining or this mining industries has a long-term effect on us. So I believe in, let's look at how to solve the long-term effect rather than looking at what we are gaining today, because it's contributing to our economic growth. Should we all sit down and look at or watch the destruction of our water bodies? I believe no. I believe that the right action needs to be taken, and needs to be taken rightly. So the Operation Hot people started their projects all over the eastern region, and when you go to eastern region, they destroyed about 30 pieces of mining equipment on the Brim River in the eastern region. And in the central region, and also that's the western you talked about. In the central region, the Pra River, after destroying about 10 Changfans, they also destroyed 8 water pumping machines on the Pra River and a lot of equipment over there. And this operation is lasting for 2 weeks. Yes, that is what they say. Yes, it's lasting for 2 weeks. So maybe after 2 weeks, they are going to see how they are going to restructure themselves for another task ahead of them. So let's wait for the outcome of the 2 weeks operation they are doing. And I believe, yes, I know that they are destroying a lot of people's work, and I've seen a lot of videos out. People are saying, I'm threatening them that since I've even seen one video where they bent an excavator and they were threatening them. That's why did they do that? I believe that people or Ghanaians, we saw the notice way ahead of time that these task force people are coming. So if for any other reason, you could have parked your excavator in your house and stopped whatever you are doing. But you didn't do that. You are still on site mining. You are still on the water bodies, causing more harm than good. People will say that that is their livelihood. Yes, I agree. That is your livelihood. But let's look at the positive or the future impact. The future impact of what we are doing. Today, it puts food on your table. But what if tomorrow, all the food, all the money you've gathered, you are supposed to use to import water from the outside country before you drink? Doesn't mean we are doing a good thing to ourselves. So I believe that the future impact of this Galamsey thing should be something that will drive all of us to fight for it, to fight it today once and for all. If I was so amazed over the weekend, I saw in the news outlets that a minister, and I will not mention the a minister said that, yeah, people are talking about Galamsey, but for him, he drink pipe water and he has not seen any sign of Galamsey in his pipe water.
Wow.
So he don't believe in anything like Galamsey causing more harm than good. And when I saw that, I was like, really? So this is where it has gotten to. This is where it has landed us in issues like this. But it's so good that on the main discussion, we'll be talking about Galamsey there. So I believe those people will speak more into issues like this.
I also want to add to it that, yes, we are fighting Galamsey. Now, the harm has already been caused, right? So I also feel government should put together maybe a committee or some sort of people to start thinking of how we are going to repair the destroyed soils, the destroyed lands, the destroyed water bodies, because we can't wait to fight Galamsey and then now start all over with the refinery of our water bodies, you know, our natural resources and the rest. I think it is going to be too late, because a research scientist recently discovered that it will take more than 300 years for us to restore our soils, for us to have our water bodies back looking blue and white. It is going to take so many years. And so I think action should be, you know, taken now. As we are fighting Galamsey, let's think of how we are going to recover our natural resources and water bodies.
Well, I just hope that the kind of investments being made into Galamsey would rather be pushed towards what you are talking about, because, I mean, it is an avenue for making money as well. If we are so focused on trying to restore our lands, fill up the pits that were, you know, dug, people dying and things like that, repairing everything, replanting where we need to, trying to desilt the rivers and all of those things. That is a very big or a major investment avenue for our leaders and then the people involved in this Galamsey. So they should look towards that rather than the gold. Because I watched the documentary, and if you see the amount of gold they acquire after doing all of that rigorous work, it is amazing.
It's very small.
Very, very small chips.
There's a lot of money.
It has a lot of value, but are those small chips worth the lives of over 30 million people?
Someone will tell you yes.
And you know they are aware, because they use mercury to extract the gold and everything. And when they finish, and even I think one of the documentaries I saw, they use even washing soap. So they add washing powder too. And when they finish, they pour it into her. And aside the fact that they are polluting these rivers, they're also changing the course of the river. To what end? Because what do you want to eat like this that you need to do all this to our resources?
That's why I'm saying it shouldn't just end with our arrest. If you are arrested, you need to be fined. Go ahead, but you will pay money. Like for them, the money you've gotten, give it back to government and we use it to solve the issues you have created for us.
And you know, one of is it the MC or DC or something? One of these leaders of the heads of the police of one of the communities was also saying that even some of the policemen are involved in it.
Oh, I won't be surprised.
This cancer, I don't even know where we need to. Where are we even going to start from? These are some of the things we need to look at and do this thoroughly. Else, Ghana will not be a viable state to live in.
And that, you see, people are getting, I don't know if they are realizing that the foreigners wouldn't like to come to Ghana because of what is really happening.
Yes. Over the years, coming to come and exploit.
Yes, over the years, you hear people talking about Ghana, I want to visit Ghana, but now they won't come because of the kind of environment we have created for ourselves, which is so bad. I believe, I won't talk much because you have guests to speak to this issue. But the only thing I will say, as Mimi talked about, that there should be a plan on solving or providing solutions to it. But I would say that is what the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources took initiative of, planting more trees. That's the reason behind that thing is to green the environment for the destruction of the our timbers and stuff. We should replant. Yes, we should replant them all over. But you see, I was so amazed that some people who engage in the aspect of reforestation, right? The afforestation, replanting of the trees. Some of them allegedly are also involved in Galamsey. So the issue is but
come see, come sell.
yeah, exactly.
They are like,
exactly.
we'll plant trees, but let's destroy the water bodies.
But
we need
problem
carbon
too
dioxide.
The problem too
oxygen.
is our soils are also being destroyed.
Yeah.
So where do we even plant to start the afforestation again?
But Yaira,
the water bodies, do they even have fish anymore? And the fish, by now, they have 3 eyes. And things like that. Are we going to be able to consume these?
So yeah, before I forget, tomorrow is the 44th observation of the World's Food Day, and Ghana, it's happening. We are doing ours at the Ministry of Agriculture, the focus of Ministry of Agriculture. I want to see the kind of food we produce in Ghana and the kind of the state of the food, because looking at the impact of the destruction of the environment, now everything it seems to be affected. Everything seems to be affected. And the time is coming that we will end up importing foodstuffs to outside countries and they'll reject it back to Ghana.
Of course.
And you know, one of the interviews I also watched, the person was linking the increased rate of these kidney issues to this Galamsey issue. And it seems viable because he explained that our bodies are not able to excrete these heavy metals out of our systems like the way, you know, because of the quantity that may be in the body. And then, you know, our kidneys are the organs that help flush out toxins and things. So now look at these renal failure issues that we are facing these days. What if? But you know what? If we decide to talk about Galamsey, we'll be here the whole day. Let me read a few comments. So this one says, for once, we are getting something free from Ghana. Well done, EC. Thank you for your comment. Our very own Obiba says, you guys are looking wild this morning. Yaira, your outfits. Thank you. We hear it's your birthday, so we'll be celebrating you on the lifestyle segment. It's not like we forgot.
Not at all. So, but Yaira, before you go there, since he has brought himself, I want to wish him happy, glorious birthday. So, Obiba has been, has been a very good person, amazing friend, way back campus. And we won't talk about it today. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Today's his birthday.
He warned me not to say it.
He's a loyal follower of Crocodile. We have to specially celebrate him. So
exactly.
Wait for us. Birthday segment. We'll stress it for you.
So we also have more comments. Rose Entertainment says, good morning, Clog TV. This is Charles watching you from Dubai. Good morning to you. D&J Venture says, good morning. Sefas Dosu says, hey, Yaira. Hey, you're asking that we share our salary with staff? Mimi, sorry. Then, of course, our very own Obiba Wilson says, it is another day and another divine grace is sustaining us. Good morning to Cocoa Digest crew and your cherished viewers. Good morning to you too. Now, Sefas Dosu also says, what are they doing about the cost of data? We can't have a digitalized economy with this ever-increasing cost of data. That is very, very true. Thank you for your comments sent in. So quickly, the last story, it's a pretty long one, but so this one says, the safety and security of Kia is one of the best in the world. So the Minister for Transport, Mr. Kweku Ofori-Esiama, announced that there is ongoing collaboration with international partners to combat the cocaine problem at the Kotoka International Airport. Okay, so the Kia is the Kotoka International Airport. Sorry, it was an abbreviation. He emphasized that the Kotoka International Airport safety and security measures are among the best globally. And Mr. Ofori-Esiama made the statement while disclosing that certain employees of Ghana Airports Company Limited who were involved in a cocaine smuggling case at the Kotoka International Airport have been reinstated following investigations. He shared this information during his appearance before the Assurance Committee of Parliament, where he addressed various assurances and concerns related to his ministry. And in March 2023, it was claimed that an employee of the Ghana Airports Company Limited had smuggled 8.5 kilograms of substance believed to be cocaine through the Kotoka International Airport, but was later apprehended by Belgian authorities at the Brussels airport. He said the security at various airports collaborate with each other, and I can even let people slip for him to be busted at another airport, and we have also busted other people on behalf of other countries. This is a network that we have to look for, and pointed out that the safety and security of the Kotoka International Airport is one of the best in the world.
Well, some of us, we are yet to experience if it is one of the best. When Clement is able to, take me to Dubai.
Dubai, we go to UK.
I think
Dubai.
we had a story here some months back where weed was smuggled in Gari.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how did it get out of here? So is it that they allowed it to go?
I think that
one was shipped. Yeah. So okay, then that's fine. Yeah. Well, if this is what they are saying, and I mean, we haven't had a lot of scandals at the Kotoka International Airport.
Yeah. So the latest one was on the 24th of let me get it right. On 10th of April 2024. There was an alleged that number of cocaine has been smuggled outside the country, reported by Herald newspaper. That was on the 10th of April. But so apparently during the committee meeting, the chair for the committee, that's Honorable Samuel Kudeta Blakwa, asked the minister that what is the outcome of such investigation? And it's like the minister responded, but the chair told the minister that this is a public information, so he should put it out there for Ghanaians to know the outcome of the investigation of on the 10th of April 2024 issue that happened at Kotoka International Airport. Okay.
So with this, I think since they are saying this, we just also need to keep an eye out on them so that we know that they are keeping up this reputation. And then also they can emulate, as they said, it's a network. It being a network should not also mean that the management will be collaborating to be able to successfully use this network to rather do the bad things.
Do that. For Kotoka International Airport, they won't do that. The only airport, the international airport we have in Ghana, they won't do that. Yes.
Well, we hope so. So we have one more comment, and this is Good Morning Cocoa Digest. This is Joe from Omanjo. Thank you so much for your comments, and thank you all for joining us here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, our online and newspaper review. Next is a lifestyle segment, and they will be talking to the bus stop. Okay, so next is, the business segment, and he's bringing us everything in the world of business, stock markets, cocoa prices, fuel prices, everything. So stay tuned. Clement Yabankwe will be with us to bring us business news.